Hey everyone, this is Beacon with the Poi Mechanic channel, and today I'm going to do a video on what I'm using for my LED Poi setups. Some people have been asking me from my videos online what I'm using, and I just figured I'd put it all in one place. If you're watching my other videos, this is going to be kind of repeat information, but if you're wanting to build your own props, I could not recommend this setup enough. I absolutely love it. And we'll get started off with the heads. The heads are both from Flow on Fire. They're 100 millimeter, 200 gram heads, and they are the perfect weight to kind of mimic the current Poi that I'm using. So I really like that. These are called the Hard Glow. And the reason they're called hard is because the balls are harder, definitely more firm than like the Mr. Babash or Babashay, however you say it, that I was using. The old balls that I was using, they would elongate or just deform after a while, especially if I was doing heavy stalls or orbitals, and the capsule would pop out and go on the inside of the ball. So these eliminate that, and I cannot recommend them enough. They're a green glow and a blue glow. I'm not too sure which is which. I don't really care about the glow factor, but anyways, the lights that I'm using are from Flowtoys. They are the version 2.0s, and this particular one is both heads here are the short shells. And you have to use the short shells inside these heads, otherwise they'll stick out a little bit. The rope that I'm using here has a inner core and a jacket, and I had to fuse those two together and make a plug on the inside right here to be able to get to stay inside the capsule. I have a video on how I did that. The handle that I have on this is a Flowtoys capsule version 2 as well, but it's the long shell, and that makes the plug, or putting a plug in there, a lot easier. I did the same thing with this rope, which is fused it together. And then we'll talk about the rope. The rope is VPC. This stuff is amazing. I can't say enough good things about it. It's a 3/8 inch sailing rope. It retains its shape when you're doing, floats or when you're doing slide tosses. So it kind of has the characteristics of a stiff rope, but when you want to do tangles or just do gunslingers, it wraps around your fingers and stuff really well. The swivels that I'm using on here on this particular setup are called Krok Billfisher swivels. They are the only true stainless steel swivel on the market. I'm using, I think, number 7 here. These are like 550-pound weight limit. What I like about these is they have double action swivels, so they spin on this side and they spin on this side, which makes orbitals absolutely amazing. The other ones I've used have just broken down over time. I've been using these for a long time, and they're great. And the way I put these on was a little difficult on this particular rope, but what I did is I used Technora, and Technora is a fireproof rope, and it feeds in through itself. And so you basically run the rope back through itself, and it doubles up in size, but it also makes this super smooth, seamless, or whatever you want to call it, transition. So what I did is I used I think it's a 3/16 inch rope, and that doubled up. Then I put this 3/8 inch VPC sheath over it, and then I put heat shrink on this side of it. I needed to fuse the VPC to the Technora, so what I did is I put epoxy around about an eighth, probably about a 1/4 inch of this, and then I put it on the inside right here too. But it was kind of bulky, so what I did was I pushed the heat shrink over that before the epoxy dried, and then I hit it with a heat gun, and that just constricted all the excess epoxy out, and it made this super smooth transition. It had I left this on there on this side, but it eventually fell off, but I don't need it whatsoever. You can't even feel that there was any two ropes there. It feels all like one solid thing. And I did the same thing on this side. As I said, it's pretty technical, or kind of challenging to do properly, but totally worth it. Now, on this particular setup, I was using the Widmar XL 3D printed knobs with a modified Niteye keychain light on the inside. It was too light, and I just don't like the feel of 3D printed knobs. They just don't have enough grip, and it was always slipping out of my hand. So what I did was I took a Pomgrip version 1 knob. They're a silicone knob that has these little grooves on it for extra grip. and I used, I think, the middle groove, and I put a razor inside the groove and just kept going around it, and it cut this thing perfectly in half. And then I stuck that on the back side of this, and what that does is it adds the extra weight that I like for my style, but it also makes this thing just super grippy. It doesn't ever slip out of my hands. And then it also adds this extra, you know, bulk too, and I have big hands, and these things just fit in my hands super well. So onto the Niteye's keychain. They're like they're keychain or a dog collar light, and they're a little disc that looks like this on both sides, but it was a little too big to fit inside here, so I had to shave down this side, and then I stuck it in. It was still wanting to pop out, so I had to figure out a way to fuse this to the rope. So what I did was I used the little LED hole right here. I drilled it out a little bit deeper so it went straight through, and then I drilled 3 holes in these little slots right there. I took a 2-part epoxy, the DevCon Home stuff that I use on the other stuff, on the ends, and I put it right here, put the syringe in there, and then I injected it, and then the epoxy started coming out the 3 holes, and that just, you know, made this thing stick to the rope, and it's never came loose. So let's see the overall length. I usually like about 28.5 inches on my normal contact poi setups. That's what this was. It shrank a little bit because I've used it a tremendous amount, and this setup was, you see, I think I had it originally at about 30, which was pretty dang long. It's at 29 right now, which is the absolute perfect for me length. And if you're, let's see, yeah, if you want to get any of these supplies, the lights I got from Flowtoys, they also sell these Swivels. You'll pay a premium there. Well, you'll pay a premium anywhere. These things are just expensive. They're about $10 a set. But you have to ask specifically from these if you order from Flowtoys. The rope and the balls and everything else I got from Flow on Fire. If you want to use the coupon code Poi Mechanic, it's all capital letters and it's all one word. It'll get you some kind of discount there. If you have any questions on this setup or recommendations, please let me know. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a good one.